Did you know that your online privacy is at risk every single day? With all the security issues lately created by hackers, net censorship, identity theft, and internet service providers monitoring activities, your online privacy has never been more threatened or important. Not many online users know about this, though everyone should. People can easily spy on you when you're browsing in public locations, coffee shops, airports, restaurants, libraries, you name it. Seriously, even your internet service provider can see every website you ever go to. With VPN Wise, no one can spy on you or steal your valuable data anymore. It's time to disappear online and protect yourself. VPN Wise encrypts your data connections, hides your IP and replaces it with an anonymous IP to protect your privacy. This way, you can surf anonymously and securely. Say goodbye to spying. Now big corporations, governments and even aliens can't track you online. Through IP cloaking, you can now unlock internet content globally. Get access to great content from all over the world, even when you're abroad. It's time to free yourself from geographic restrictions and enjoy the content you love from anywhere.
A VPN is a virtual private network, which is an encrypted connection that ensures that other people cannot monitor the user data. So has the government banned the VPN? Of course not. However, the government has brought in a new directive under which the user is required to store their data like the phone number, name, email IDs, etc. So does that mean that it violates the right to privacy under Article 21? Many say it does. But the government says it does not, because the government says that it won't be monitoring individual data, however, would just be storing a metadata and hence not violating the right to privacy under Article 21.
Do you all know what normal networks are? So there's just an example of a star network. So we know we've got our computers here, a server here, and then maybe a switch in the middle. Okay. Now we're looking at virtual networks. Virtual networks are the idea that you can access this from outside the building. Okay. So you know when you're in school, you log on a computer, you're accessing your area like normal, you do your work like normal, you load the software like normal, but you're doing it while you're in school, okay? Or while you're at work. Now the idea about a virtual network is that you're accessing it from home. So the same network, but you're accessing it from somewhere else, all right? So imagine that when you're home, you can get access to your work. Me as a teacher, I have access to things like Sims, I've got access to my own area when I log on at home. Lots of companies allow people to work from home so they can access their work. They literally access the company's website, the company's network, but access it from home. Alright? So imagine you're sitting in your room or something, you've got your computer, you log on your computer like normal, but what you're doing is you're actually virtually logging on to maybe the school network. So the idea is that you log on from somewhere else into a network. Alright, again, if you're in school, it could be the school's network, but if you went home, you could use some software to log into the school's network as if you're from that place, alright? Best way to think of it is imagine you're sat at home, you're on your computer, and it works exactly the same as if you were in school. That would be a virtual network. So here's an example. Imagine that the network is here, you are here, and you're working on, say, some reports, some computer homework, and some science work. So the idea of a virtual network is the information would go from you, down the internet, to the network, okay? Now the only problem you can see with this is people can see what you're doing, because a network, obviously people can get access to see what files you're doing. That's what what's called a virtual network comes in. So if you look at this one, we can see that the files I'm using, as they go between me and the network in school, people can see what the files are. However, we can use something called a virtual network, or VPN. Exactly the same thing, but it's a private network. The idea behind this is exactly the same, but your data is encrypted. So as it goes down the line, people can't see the files you're using. Okay, so just to clarify, a virtual network is the idea of logging onto a network from outside the building. Okay, maybe at home. For example, if you sat in your room, you could use it to log into school. The problem with that is that when you're accessing files, people can see what files you're using because the files are going down the internet and back again. So you can use what's called a virtual private network, which stops that. Still sending files back and forth, but you're accessing via like a private line, if you want, call it like a private secret line, where people can't see what you're doing. So that's what a virtual network is, and a virtual private network is where the data is hidden, so people can't see what you're doing.
Nowadays, using a VPN is essential, especially if you are using public Wi-Fi or even at home. A VPN anywhere is a great cybersecurity defense system. By using a VPN, you enjoy safe and private access to the internet while protecting your Wi-Fi network. Securing all your devices so you can work, stream and play games, and browse online without limitations. With your VPN you can have security and privacy. Hide your IP address. No logs, unblocked websites, unlimited devices and bandwidth. 24/7 customer support. Here are the 6 features with your new VPN. 1. Keep your data safe from hackers and trackers. 2. Hide your IP address. Browse the internet and stay anonymous with a virtual IP address. 3. We won't track, collect, or share what you do online. 4. Unlock websites and access your favorite entertainment from anywhere. 5. Unlimited devices and bandwidth to protect all your devices at once and free yourself of restrictive data caps. 6. Always protected with auto connect and kill switch that will help you stay protected at all times. In this cyber climate with hackers and personal data being stolen, you need to have a VPN to protect yourself and your personal info.
By addressing the objective of this presentation. In order to fully understand this technology, I will define what VPN is and provide the historical turning points that led to its creation and development. I will describe how a user can log in remotely to use VPN from any physical location around the world, as well as provide security information surrounding this tool. I will disclose the advantages and disadvantages associated with this technology. In order to help you determine that VPN technology can benefit our organization, I will address the cost and suggest potential VPN vendors. I will discuss why VPN is a must-have tool in today's market. Lastly, I will end with the final takeaway points from the presentation and provide a list of references used. The aim of this presentation is to bring awareness to this growing and developing technology. Through the definition, advantages, and disadvantages of VPN, we can begin to understand and ultimately answer why it's necessary to implement it in today's market. Through this presentation, I hope to promote conversations within our organization regarding the use and implementation of VPN technology. I have confidence that this presentation will also encourage other managers to join me in motivating you to adapt VPN ideology to overcome the growing security risks of the future.
Virtual private network. A virtual private network is a connection that gives you online privacy or anonymity. So when we learned about how the internet works, we saw that whenever you connect to the internet, your computer is assigned a unique IP address so that anyone in the internet will be able to know that this is the particular device that is connected to the internet. But a virtual private network is a connection that will hide this information. It will hide your IP address so that your connection all over the internet will be private. Most important, virtual private network services establish that secure and encrypted connection to provide greater privacy for purposes of majorly privacy, especially when you are connected in secure Wi-Fi. So you might be thinking whether VPN is illegal or not. Well, there is a balance between the two because virtual private network has its advantages and it's really a good idea. For example, if you're frequently using the public Wi-Fi for you to protect yourself so that your data cannot be accessed, it is really a great idea to use a VPN, a virtual private network, so that you hide your details, you hide your data, because in a public network, anyone with a good server can access your machine and hack or access your data or be able to see rather what you're doing. So a virtual private network is a good idea, but a virtual private network can be used illegally. For example, one simple example is the use of Netflix. Netflix, it is against its terms and policy to use a VPN when connecting to the network. But you can be able to find out, like for example, in China. China has banned the use of YouTube. But you can access YouTube if you're in China using a virtual private network. One of its largest television broadcast, and it's a state-controlled broadcaster, is called China Central Television, and it uses VPN to broadcast its news because it often puts its news on YouTube. So there are ways in which, for example, you find that YouTube is banned in China, but they can be able to post videos on YouTube. Also, according to Alexa, you find that the Chinese citizens really access YouTube because YouTube is the top 11 sites accessed. So it means that they're using virtual private networks. So on the illegality point of view, if a country has banned the use of a particular site and you access it, it's legal. Another example is our neighboring country here in Uganda. You find that during elections they banned the use of social media, all social medias, Facebook and Twitter and so on. So you find that people would still go and tweet and be able to give information a lot. So with the use of a virtual private network, you can find that people can use it to break the law that has been set for you. So this is one way I really, on a personal level or on the legal point of view, I don't highly recommend. Recently, Nigeria announced Twitter suspension for the country days after social media deleted the country president's tweet because it said it violated the rule. But you still find that Nigerians still access Twitter accounts. So if you buy a VPN service, you can go against the rules that are set in terms of you accessing particular sites. That makes the use of VPN illegal. The common ways that make virtual private network very, very much illegal is you accessing copyrighted material like torrent. You going to download materials that you're supposed to pay for is really not a good way. So VPN is illegal if you use it in ways that is not meant to be used.
When we are creating the EC2 instances in the AWS cloud, first we are creating the VPC layer with custom network settings. Then we need to choose in which availability zone the instances has to be deployed. Then we are associating the availability zone to the specific subnets. Then we can deploy the EC2 instances on the specified private subnets. Instances deployed in the private subnet will be accessible only within the VPC, and the instances deployed in the public subnet will be accessible even from outside of the AWS network, as the elastic IP is associated with the public subnet, and the public subnet is also having the route tables routing the traffic to the internet gateway. Once the EC2 instances are deployed, we would need to connect to these EC2 instances for any administrative related activities. When we have the client systems or administrators in corporate data centers, then client machines or users wanted to access the EC2 instances deployed in the AWS cloud, then the users or clients making a request to the AWS infrastructure through the internet. It is not a security best practice if the users or client machines are making a request to access the EC2 instances via public internet. Hence, we need to create a virtual private gateway, and the virtual private gateway will be associated with the VPC. Then we should have a customer gateway at corporate data center as well. When we configure customer gateway and virtual private gateway, then there will be a virtual private tunnel will be established between the VPC and the corporate data center, so that if the clients or users wanted to access the EC2 instances from corporate data center, it is possible to access the instances directly using the private IP of the EC2 instance via the virtual private network. It is also possible to have redundant customer gateway at corporate data center, and the redundant similar identical customer gateway can be associated with the same virtual private gateway, so that if one customer gateway is not working, then there is another customer gateway which is having the virtual private network connectivity to the VPC, so that Users can have access to the EC2 instances which are in private subnets via the another customer gateway. This is explaining what is virtual private network in the AWS cloud and how virtual private network will be providing the virtual private tunnel between the VPC and the corporate data center, so that the VPC network and the corporate data center network will be acting as a single network, and the instances can be accessed directly though the instances are deployed in a private subnet.
It's created using a private VPC and needs a way to access it from the internet. This will require the creation of a virtual private network, also referred to as a VPN, either by working with your IT team or creating one within AWS. The easiest way to create access to the private VPC is to create an AWS instance running OpenVPN. This can be done using a small instance that may be available to you as a free tier. To begin, open a new browser and go to the AWS console login. Once logged in, select EC2 from the AWS Management Console. Select Running Instances from the Resources list. We want to have our VPN in the same region as our soft NAS virtual appliance. Select Launch Instance and then do a search within the AWS Marketplace for OpenVPN. OpenVPN offers a free trial for their 5 connected devices, which is plenty for what needs to be accomplished. Select OpenVPN Access Service for 5 connected devices. AWS offers a T2 micro instance as being eligible for a free tier. Select the instance you want to use and then select Next, configure instance details. Your OpenVPN needs to reside in the same VPC created for your soft NAS virtual appliance, as well as using the public subnet one assigned to it. Enable the auto-assign public IP. Select Next, Add Storage. There isn't anything needed here because the storage that comes with the instance is fine. Select Next, Add Tags. To make it easy to identify, Burst recommends adding a name tag. Let's call it OpenVPN. Select Next, Configure Security Group. You will need to select the existing security group and use the public security group that was created when your soft NAS virtual appliance was created. Now select Review and Launch to continue. Take a second to do a quick review to make sure everything looks correct and then select Launch to continue. Go ahead and create a new key pair. Let's name it OpenVPN and then download it. You will need to keep this .pem file handy because it will be used to set up your OpenVPN. Select Launch Instance to start the creation process. Now select View Instances to return to the EC2 console. Once your OpenVPN instance has been created and shows a 2 of 2 checks passed, you will need to open a terminal session to establish an SSH connection to the OpenVPN instance. Change directory to the location that contains the key pair.pem files used when launching the OpenVPN instance. Establish an SSH connection to the OpenVPN instance using its public IP address. It should be noted the username used in the SSH command is OpenVPN-AS and not just OpenVPN. Use the command ssh-i, openvpn.pem openvpn-as, at the IP address for the OpenVPN that was created. If you receive a permissions error, use the command, change mode 0600 with the keypair.pem file name. Once the permissions have been changed, re-enter the SSH command. Change the user password for the OpenVPN user account. Enter the command, sudo passwd followed by OpenVPN. Enter and confirm the new password when prompted. Open a browser tab and connect to the web interface for OpenVPN by entering https:// and the IP address for the OpenVPN. Enter the username OpenVPN and the new password. Now select the appropriate selection for the environment you want to connect your soft NAS virtual appliance to. In this example, we will select the OpenVPN Connect for Windows link. This will start the download of the OpenVPN client for the environment to be used. Again, in our example, we are going to use a Windows system. Once the download is complete, open the installation.msi file and follow the standard installation steps. Enter the public IP address of the OpenVPN instance in the OpenVPN Connect window and select Continue. Enter the username OpenVPN and the new password and select Connect, then accept any prompts. You should see a notification that the public IP address is connected, indicating that you now have established a connection to the OpenVPN instance, which provides you a network path to the private IP addresses of your soft NAS virtual appliance. You can run a quick check by reopening command prompt and pinging the private IP address of your soft NAS virtual appliance. Enter ping and then the private IP address of the soft NAS virtual appliance. You will be able to open a browser and enter the IP address for your soft NAS virtual appliance to access it.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away. tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray. I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.